Let's try that again. All right. Welcome back to the GSL Code A. Sometimes there's not really enough indication if my mic is on yet.
I know, we're like, well, the only way we can know if our mic is on is if we talk. Look,
Yeah.
Karn back there, he's on Isahara. He's
sometimes I'll be
over our
like,
set.
sometimes I'll be like, just like clear my throat a little bit to see if I can hear it in my headset, so I know the mic is on. Clever. Anyway, welcome back. Round of 32. So far, we've had two very, very, very good matches. We've had two Swedish players, unfortunately, go down to two strong Korean players, but they put up a darn good fight, if I do say so myself.
It was quite good.
And you know what? When I was coming in here today, I was like, you know what? I think SaSe, and I'm not taking anything away from Jinro or Thorazane, but just due to their competitors and everything, I was like, I think SaSe and Naniwa have the best chance today. So I still don't think that we're going to see a sweep by any means. We got SaSe coming up next, and he's actually going to be playing against MVP Sniper.
Yeah, and MVP Sniper used to be known as Killer MVP.
Yeah.
That's his old ID, so you guys probably... You maybe recognize that. That's what his ID still is on the ladder. And I think he probably changed it not to be confused with Songho.
Yeah.
That's most likely the case.
That's probably the case. And here's the thing. SaSe, now, he was practicing a lot last night. He's coming off of a big, like, second-place victory in that Chinese tournament. He's playing really well. He's been dominating in Europe. And we got Sniper, on the other hand, who has no experience.
Yeah, none.
He's not been in any tournament, basically. And there is the man himself, Kim Hamar, SaSe, Sweden Rakaka. I thought it was, how do you say that? I think it's Rakaka.
I think it's Rakaka, yeah.
Tournament champion. Got a seed into Code A from that. Actually beat Naniwa in the finals of that tournament.
Yes.
It was like a best of Sweden tournament. Anyway, he is looking really good. I really think he has a strong chance of beating Sniper today. Like I said, Sniper doesn't have much experience. He beat Jaejun in the finals of his bracket, which means, you know, Jaejun's like not that great. So it's not like I don't know who else he played in that bracket. I'm sure he's really good, but it's really kind of a luck thing. He might have had an easy bracket or something.
Yeah, his
like
bracket
that.
was much easier than some of the other ones.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. SaSe, like I said, he was practicing late last night. In fact, like he woke up this morning. I'm like, how do you feel, man? He's like, oh, I'm tired. I practiced too much. But last night he ran into Sniper on the ladder and beat him.
Yes.
Beat him on the ladder with Blink Stalkers. So I'm really feeling like SaSe has a really good chance here.
Yeah, I think he probably has a better chance than anyone else is playing today in the other Swedes. Now, here's Sniper himself. This is his first time in the GSL. Made it through Code A in a somewhat of an easier bracket, but that's not to discount him. He beat Jaejun, has done quite well in Code A before himself. And I expect to see good play out of Sniper. I think this is going to be a pretty close series. But like you were saying, I mean, SaSe's got to be feeling pretty confident, knowing that he beat him on the ladder his first time playing against him. I mean, if that's all you've seen, it's hard to not feel confident. Especially when it wasn't even like a close game. I watched the replay. He was watching the replay next to me. I watched it happen. I mean, I kind of saw him play the game, but I wasn't sure if he was playing, who he was playing against. And I watched the replay, and I was like, "Oh, that's your opponent for tomorrow, man."
Yeah.
And it was a crushing victory.
I was like trying to figure out who he was watching, and then like I saw the GG at the end, and it was like Killer MVP. I'm like, oh snap.
Yeah.
But yeah, SaSe, like I said, coming off really good showing in other tournaments as well, so he's got to be feeling pretty confident, I think. First map is going to be Dual Sight, and we're going to get started here very, very soon. SaSe eliminated Belshire Beach. Smart move playing against Zerg. And I think we're going to get into the first game here pretty soon.
Yeah, I think we are.
Looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it, too. It's like, you don't have to look that much more forward.
Nope, you got to,
like,
in fact...
snap my fingers, and then we're going to jump into it. That was a bad finger snap, that's why. Oh, did you do it?
Oh, didn't work.
We have to like, touch our hands together?
Do it at the same time. That was awesome. All right, here we have our Protoss player, again hailing from Sweden. Sending his first probe out for an early pylon. He is the great hope of Sweden today, I think. Has a very good chance of beating his opponent.
SaSe
SaSe. Not self-addressed stamped envelope. There he is. Very, very strong player. I was watching him play some of his games last night. I'll talk about that in a minute so I don't miss this intro. Because his opponent is the Zerg player, not seen before.
MVP Sniper.
MVP Sniper. Will he snipe a third Swede? We will find out. But yeah, I was watching SaSe last night play, and I admittedly, I don't know too much about him. I haven't watched many of his games before. I was watching him play. He's actually really good, man. He is like fast.
He is
He has
fast.
good micro. He's got macro while he's microing. He makes good decisions. He has good positioning.
I have almost never seen a player as fast as SaSe, and I want to comment on that as well. I think his speed in itself, not only, I mean, his decision-making, his macro, all those are good, but his speed in itself gives him so much potential. And I think that when I watch him play, I see this player that if he sticks with StarCraft, man, in a year or two, he's going to be one of the top players in the world. I mean, he already is, but I mean, he's going to be like, he's going to be one of the top Koreans. I mean, he's not going to be Korean, but he's going to be like up there.
Yeah, if he stays here, definitely. Yeah, and I remember the only thing that I guess he might have going against him, I was reading, Team Liquid interviewed him like yesterday or something about his match, and he was talking about how he feels like having come to Korea and played on the Korean ladder a little bit, micro is a lot more important here.
Yes.
And he was talking about how he feels like his micro is a little bit lacking compared to the Koreans, and so, you know, that might be where he lacks is you know, in the middle of big battles, microing in the midst of that kind of thing. According to him, at least. I didn't see him make any micro mistakes last night. But
it's funny, you've had these European players come over here. For example, Slavic or Happy Zerg has come over to the house as well, and he said, you know, he always says, well, in Europe, it's not like this. Or in Europe, when you play on the ladder, when the game goes in your favor, your opponent GG's. But in Korea, like, you go and they have like another command center, then another command center, then another command center. You're like, whoa, I actually have to keep playing after the battle ends. And it's very different here. The Korean ladder is much more competitive. It's much more difficult.
Interesting. Yeah. So SaSe is going to go ahead and wall off the top of his ramp.
I think what we're going to see here from SaSe is a one-gate expand.
That would be good.
He's been doing that a lot, but he is going to actually add a Twilight Council. It looks like he wants to go DTs.
Go for those.
I think he's going to go DTs.
You're going to go DTs, not Blinkstalkers?
He could go Blinkstalkers, but he's making Sentry right now, not a Stalker.
Oh, okay.
And then again, though, the Sentry could just be to deter his opponent from thinking he's teching, because when you see a Sentry, you think, oh, he's going to expand soon. Yeah. It could be one or two. SaSe's known for his Blinkstalkers, though.
You're right. It could go either way. It might. Actually, I'm starting to lean. I'm probably going to, like, shoot myself in the foot here, but I'm starting to lean towards DTs now because that was a really fast Citadel. Not Citadel. Twilight Council. And oh no, he spots a probe off on the side. It's going to ruin his ability to make a proxy pylon, and the Dark Shrine is down now, as well as the second gateway. So he was hoping to have that, and I don't think he's going to be able to get a second probe out, man.
It's going to be very difficult because now Sniper, anticipating that there's going to be a fast Nexus, is always going to be on top of every unit that's there. Wants to force cancel on Nexus if he can. He's anticipating a one-gate expand. That's what this looks like.
Yeah, he's trying to make it look like that as well. He's trying to... Oh, and he's actually going to...
Yeah, he's going to make a Nexus. You do make a Nexus with this. It's just that it's very difficult to hold.
Right. Okay.
It's basically like a DT expand. So the fast DTs allow you to possibly end the game in some cases.
Oftentimes the DTs... usually the DTs are not designed to like be a killing blow. They're designed to protect your expansion and gain map control anyway.
This is
really
when
risky.
the Lings come in here, this is when things get really hard to defend.
Yeah, this is really risky.
He's going to have to cancel that Nexus most likely.
He's got like no units right now.
Yeah. And is he going to hold this? It looks like he may because the Dark Shrine is finishing. Nope, he has to cancel. Got too low. It's looking really bad for SaSe. Cancels his Forge as well. The Zerglings are getting into the main. That Sentry may go down as well, but the DTs are going to help defend. And barely keeps that Sentry alive, but there are Zerglings in his base. He knows about the DTs now. SaSe is in so much trouble.
What is he doing to respond? Did he actually realize they're DTs, though?
Yeah, I mean, he lost.
Well, now he sees the Dark Shrine. Okay, never mind.
He definitely knows. And he's already got Spores going up. He's got Spore at his natural. He's making 2 spines. The problem, though, is he doesn't really have any units back at home, so the DTs could potentially do damage just simply because there's like a Spore Caller and 2 Queens. He may be able to get up into the main if he can do that. Things are going to go a little bit better.
Yeah, well,
but there is a Spore there.
In the main.
Yeah, and the Queens are going to trap him.
He doesn't get It does not quite get trapped. He does not have a lair, so he's not going to be able to get an overseer. So they can still kind of juke around and find spots where there's no detection. And that's not that spot.
Yep. Nice control by SaSe here, but Sniper in such a good position from here.
Yeah.
He had to cancel the next, he had to cancel the Forge, he lost a lot of units.
Oh, he did cancel the Forge also?
Yeah, he had to cancel the Forge.
Oh, dear.
And DT is staying alive. This is a great control by SaSe, making use of these DTs in a dire situation.
Yeah, making sure he keeps those Zerglings back to deal with them instead of trying to do a counter or something like that.
Yeah.
So those DTs are actually... Oh, no!
Another Zergling gets into the main.
And it's not going to do too much, but he sees a few extra gates. He knows the gateway count of SaSe right now. So yeah, SaSe is just going to have to try and recover from this by... oh, and those DTs are actually going to sneak out.
I like that. He can go and make them into an Archon later. Oh, even gets that tumor. That's very good.
Nice. Yeah, the Archon will be really nice mixed into his army later on. And he could use the DTs to control towers and stuff too right now. So yeah, SaSe is just going to have to try and sit back and defend and trying to get his expansion going.
But look at this. That's so many Zerglings. But with no detection and with the ability to warp in Dark Templars, it's not going to be able to do a whole lot. Nice force field, good building placement by SaSe. But Sniper has total map control.
This DT's sitting here. Doesn't kill a Zergling. Finally does. And that's good. He needs to try and control those towers with the DTs. Although,
yeah, it's actually a build I used to do all the time. And
well,
it's a great build because even if your DTs don't do a lot of damage, you can control the map with them.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, even if Sniper wants to take a fast third as he's doing now, if your DTs are there and ready and he doesn't have a lair, then you just like kill the third and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, you can't do that, and that's exactly what he's going to do right now.
Oh, here he comes in, yeah.
But he does have a lair. He should be able to keep us alive.
Probably. Well...
Oh, he does have an Overseer made already. Okay, yeah, he's fine.
Okay.
Sorry, DT.
DT
You're not
gets
okay.
trapped. He is going for Blink actually, which is interesting. We have Hydralisks on the way. An interesting decision there, and it makes sense because he's like, all right, well, you went DTs. You're probably going to do some kind of tech along that path. You're not going to switch back over into Robo because you're behind right now. You can't afford to. So I can make Hydras with impunity.
Now the cool thing about going Blink is that it makes you very. You've got a lot of ability to snipe overseers, you're very mobile, and whenever the Hydras get off quick, you can blink back. And so there's these timings you can do where if your opponent like tries to do a Hydra bust, now because he thinks he's so far ahead, if you just take out the overseers, you can hold with DTs. A lot of different things you can do from this position. So SaSe is not down and out, he's just playing a little bit from behind. Now, interestingly, Sniper got very fast +1 with that Evo Chamber. Like the second the Evo Chamber finished, he got +1 and then started Spore Crawlers. So he's already got +2 on the way for his Hydras. That's going to be quite good.
Yeah,
an Overseer here.
Oh, nice. Oh, gets the Changeling out. Nope. that was funny, actually. With my dying breath, I will crap a Changeling.
Stalker's like, well, that's kind of funny, and just kills it.
So, Sniper does have his third up, though. SaSe with a pretty decent army, though.
The problem is
getting
that the
a
creep
Robo
spread is so good for Sniper that any moves out that SaSe tries to make is going to be spotted. He's going to be able to reinforce well.
I asked SaSe what he thought about his match earlier today, and he's like, I don't really want to like think about it too much. And he's like, all I know about him is that he has insane creep spread. And he certainly does.
He was talking about that last night a little bit after he played him.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I went to bed early.
He said like he was like so many tumors or something like that. He was he just was looking at it and I was like, that's true, man, there's just a lot.
And
so looks like he's finally gonna move out. He's got a really good composition.
Yeah.
And in fact, Sniper doesn't have enough units to deal with this right away. He's gonna have to make a few more Hydras. +2 is about to finish. But this is a nice timing by SaSe.
He does have 5 Hydras on the way. If he can defend this third, Sniper's gonna be in good shape. But actually, even if he doesn't defend it, well, it depends on how they trade, I guess. SaSe is really behind, my point is, so he has to do some damage here. Nice position in the back, though.
Good force fields. Perfect force fields, in fact. Look at that.
Nice. Blinking some of the Stalkers back to save them, keeping the sentries in the back as well. He's got a pylon there. He's going to warp in more reinforcements. Stalkers loses a few at the top of that battle. unnecessarily. It looks like a couple did get away. He does have an observer there as well, so even if there's, I don't know if he has burrow actually for the roaches, but
SaSe with a army that is more cost efficient than Snipers, just crushing through here. I like this attack. Now the hatchery is going to be very vulnerable very soon, and Snipers struggling to make enough units to hold here. Good force fields again.
Nice. He needs to be very careful. He's going to lose those sentries now that they're in the front because he keeps blinking black. Back, a bunch of Zerglings are in play as well. They just spawned. Hydra's getting through. He's warping in more units, but it might not be enough. It looks like SaSe with the blink micro, though, might be able to outpower these Hydralisks, and he is going to barely take out the Hydras, blinking in for the kill in the last few. Now those Zerglings are keeping them being made, though, so those might force him back just enough.
That one stalker on the way he was doing over there. How did he get over there? SaSe is still down about 40 supply, but he has a very strong and potent army here. Doesn't want to get caught behind those rocks, though, because even though he can avoid the Zerglings that way, the Hydras just do so much damage. Remember, these Hydras do have +2, but so does SaSe.
Yeah,
the Extractor will go down.
He won that battle, but SaSe just does not have the production capability that Sniper does, so Sniper's just making a ton of Hydralisks and Zerglings. That's all he's making right now, spending all of his gas on Hydras. Extra money on Zerglings.
Oh, and the units are trapped here against the wall. Hydra's doing a lot of damage. The Zerglings trying to come and reinforce here as well. And SaSe, like you're saying, just cannot reinforce as quickly. Losing a lot of units here, and I think the game may end right now.
Yeah.
He engaged this perfectly. Always had the better concave. Always did beautiful blink micro.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be the end.
Just got out macroed, unfortunately.
Yep. Well, when you go for that DT switch, it's just very difficult.
Yeah.
He made it to go and try to target down that spore.
He did nothing. That would actually not be a bad idea. I was thinking about that before. He could warp in DTs and target the Overseer. The spore is at 18 health.
Yeah, that's what his thought was there.
That would be something that he could do to like distract at least for a while, because he's really behind at this point. He doesn't have a third, so.
Oh,
he's gonna do it. Get this. No.
Oh, well. Losing a lot of hit points on that. He actually decides to make an Archon instead, but looks like the Archon's going to die immediately. So will this pylon. That ends this rush.
Yeah, and SaSe is now behind a base and behind 60 supply. Not looking good at all. He really needed to do damage with the DTs, and they did nothing.
Well, SaSe did what he could after this DTs didn't really work out. He wanted to do a nice timing because he was kind of behind. He did it perfectly, but he waited just a little bit too long. Now Sniper's going to overwhelm. I mean, we were talking about his creep spread earlier. It's already spread all the way to SaSe's base, so he can just do a Hydraless counterattack. Yeah. I mean, usually Blink Stalkers just destroy Hydras, but there are just so many. The pylon goes down here. More Hydras joining into the fight, even bringing some Roaches in to help tank damage as well. Not looking good for SaSe.
No, not at all.
Look at that creep spread.
Look,
like spreading it like in front of the Stalkers. He's like, I don't even care.
There's like 5 active tumors right there.
Gold base going up for Sniper, why not? He's not attacking on creep for some reason. Probably wants to go around the other side. He's just going to back away and do that. The Hydras may get caught by these Stalkers, though. Gonna blink back. The Zerglings running forward. The Roaches tanking a lot of hits so the Hydras can do their real damage.
I'm a little surprised SaSe isn't trying to do like some backstabbing with DTs or something like that. I mean, when you're this far behind, that's the only way back in the game is to maybe get a DT in and do a bunch of damage to their drone count when they're not paying attention.
Exactly, and these Stalkers losing all of those. The problem is he doesn't have a forward pylon anywhere, so whenever he wants to make a DT and send out, it's to come all the way from his main. And he's losing a lot of units here. GG.
There's the GG.
Well, that game basically was just how things can go wrong if your Dark Templar fail and you don't get aggressive quickly enough after that.
Yeah.
If he had sent 3 DTs to that hatchery that was building and had forced the cancel on that, things would have been a lot different. He only had 1 though, and he wasn't able to kill it.
Yeah, I mean hindsight is 20/20, of course.
Exactly.
But it's just too bad that if a couple things had gone differently, it would have been a lot better off for SaSe. He's getting pumped for his next game though. He's doing all right. And looks like the next map is going to be
Xel'Naga Fortress.
Xel'Naga Fortress. That'll be interesting.
That will be interesting.
Be a fun map.
I'm kind of surprised you went for the DT build.
Yeah, I am as well, actually.
It's not the best build to do on a map like Dual Sight.
It's so... I mean, it's risky, because if it doesn't work, you just probably lose. And I don't know, maybe he was kind of doubting himself more than, maybe giving himself less credit than we are, and thinking he needed to try something tricksy.
Well, yeah, the DT expander it's a tricksy build. It's a build you can do. It's kind of like a standard build almost, because it works so well. But you definitely do play a little bit behind if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And he just played a little bit too passively. I mean, I'm sure you guys are probably thinking, well, I mean, Wolf, he did attack. If he had attacked just a little bit earlier, or if he had been able to force the cancel on that hatchery, then he would have probably been on even footing, because it would have been 2 base versus 2 base for a while. Then he could have done another attack later.
Yeah.
The third hatchery not only was good for mining, but also gave him an extra round, like it had extra larva basically. So he was able to reproduce very quickly. SaSe had 2 bases. He had 5 or 6 gates. I think he might have even just still been on 5 when he was trying to warp in those units. And every time he did a warp in, the stalkers were dying. He's like, I need more. I could pay for them, but I just don't have enough. And he's like trying to chrono boost his gateways, and he just barely couldn't. His Blink Stalker micro was phenomenal. The positioning was. He was always in a better concave than Sniper was.
He played it really well. He played it as well as he could have. Just didn't quite pull it off. I think part of it also happened... well, hold that thought for a minute. We're going to get into Game 2 here in just a minute. Remember, SaSe is down 1 game, but he can still come back in this. It is a best of 3. We're going to find out if SaSe can tie it up or if Sniper from the team MVP can take the win. So far, the Koreans are up 2. Let's find out in just a minute.